Do you want a blanket?
I'm pretty good, I think.
Okay.
I got jeans on. I got my grown-up pants on now.
Maybe I'll just have it on my side then. All right. Do you want to share some water?
Yes, let's do that. No need in having extra cutlery.
I might want to do my nails.
Go for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Back here.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yes.
Excited.
I mean, we were just at the storm. It was like,
yeah, that was a bit wild.
Yes, I agree.
The hair was flowing in all directions, things coming off. I mean, you have a lot of things in
my garden that is like DIY, so it gets really to the test if it actually can stand in the weather, and it falls. But so that's what it is to have a house. You just have to end up fixing stuff all the time.
That's the main project, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, now it's all ish okay. So
we're protected by being indoors.
The
safety in that sense.
I had like really trouble sleeping last night because of the storm. It was like taking me places that I don't know, didn't necessarily want to go or whatever. It was like awake, fell asleep, awake, fell asleep, awake.
But we're sleeping in the vinterhage, so it's just windows all around. So it's you really hear the storm.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, just be one with the storm, Sophia. Just
embrace it. Embrace it.
Just feel into it.
Yeah.
So I do feel almost a little bit tired today. I'm also a little bit like, my brain is not completely on at full capacity. There's a slight headache that's kind of fading as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like just being here also is kind of excitement and getting to talk to you. It also, I feel like we also feed off of each other in that energy as well.
For sure.
I am excited for this podcast and today's theme.
Yeah, I was just thinking like let's try to keep it maybe a little bit shorter today so we can,
because we have a lot to talk about, and we tried this once and it was all over the place.
Yeah,
because of so many topics. So we're gonna try to short it down for today's episode and basically talk about the beginning of our friendship, how a Tinder date became into a movement, but more in detail, how was it to date through Tinder? How was it to date between a woman from men? Because we both come from, a history of dating men, and then said like, oh, I like to kiss girls.
Yeah, and how do you do that? And when
the difference of it, and the challenges that come into today's society as well, and trying to just focus kind of on that topic. And then there's going to be more episodes of how did Juicebox start and how that had transformed so many times over the 8 years that we've been doing it.
Yeah.
What kind of movement it is today. But
it has taken on itself as a little organism that is ever evolving. So.
Yes, because we're all creating it together, which is so beautiful. But so we're gonna try to focus on that today. To make it a little bit easier and rather try to go deep into the topics and try to be better at explaining around it and really having time to go into the details as well, because I think that's also
and just sit more openly towards you guys.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yes.
So welcome to the podcast of Gimme the Juice. My name is Sophia.
I'm Taya.
And welcome to our playground where intimacy becomes political, personal, and real.
We actually haven't rehearsed that, so I'm like pretty impressed that actually was good. Like, wow.
We have done some prep work though. Yeah. We had done a lot of prep work before doing this. What our values, what we want to do.
4 days worth and a lifetime of 9 years of relationship worth.
No, hey, this podcast was an idea for a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It has taken quite many years, like at least 4 years from idea to actually putting a week down, sitting down. We have tried with other people. It has failed. We tried alone. And now it's finally, okay, now's the time. Still baby steps. Still gonna take some time, but
yes.
we have time.
Yeah. and before we maybe get into the episode like topics as well, like just a small disclaimer, like we're just humans who have experienced things and have our own set of beliefs or truths or
triggers, traumas,
privilege for sure,
history,
upbringing,
ancestral trauma.
Yes, I can't forget about that. Way back when, and all of these things that obviously make our opinions and how we
See
view
life.
things, see life, experience life. We have our own nervous systems and our shared history, obviously, but also personal history, and just to have that in mind that none of the things that we say here today we do regard as absolute truths or in any way that this is the monument to follow or like we're just
this sharing. Is the only way.
Yeah.
No. This is our perspective, our truth, our stories, just to basically inspire, to share queer women's voices.
Because we can never have enough of that. Yes. Mm-hmm. And also like a little bit of practice for ourselves, right? To have like practice radical honesty with each other, with the public people or public spaces.
And we would love to hear your perspective, what resonates, what doesn't, where you're like, oh, this is cringe. Please comment that onto us, because we would love to see how this reflects into our community as well.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, it all started with Tinder back in October 2017.
Yes, both of us swipe right, and that was the beginning of it all.
I was on a Tinder spree in that time. I just kind of
dated a lot of people.
Dated at least 50 dates at least for that year. Both men, women. At that time, it wasn't so many non-binary in my field, but it was mostly the binary genders. And I think for me, it was just to learn how to date.
I don't even know if Tinder had like, did they have like all genders, or did it have like different gender identities, or I don't remember actually, but yeah.
Most people are really bad at it still today's date, so I highly doubt it. But yeah, I think for me was learning how to ask questions, also see how people answered and how people took initiative or were quiet. It was a very good social experiment, I would say. However, it was also very inefficient. Like out of all 50 or 100 dates I had within the span of 3-4 years, there's only 2 people that actually I am friends with today in that way, and one of them is you.
One of them is me. Yes. Lucky me. You're actually, I don't know if you know this, but you're like my maybe 3rd Tinder date.
Oh.
In total, maybe I've gone on like 5 at all times. Like, seriously.
Well, why did you stop?
Well, I found you. And I found like, like I don't like dating. I've never been much of a dater. Like I love sex and I like connections and friendship and all of that, but yeah, I've never been much of a dater. Like I don't.
Oh
no. So is this something that you didn't know about me?
Yeah, because I'm like, you have a lot of sexual partners, and you've been dating. I feel like you have been dating. Well, not necessarily dating, but you had a lot of sexual partners. So this is why I'm like,
yeah, you can be an ethical slut without having to go on many dates. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But I remember our first date. My first image of you. I take you to my classic spot is Java Cafe in Sankthanshaugen. That is my to-go-to. And you were just so fucking gorgeous. Oh my god. With your you're sitting there with your beautiful, luscious hair, and I think you had some kind of red lips in that sense. And I was just like, oh my god, this woman. was so pretty. I was like, drooling. And I think it's always it was always, I feel like all of our dates was like over alcohol usually, and drink in a bar, and it's always
we also worked at the bar at the time.
I mean from the industry, and I no
she
shame on that.
Me, and then we had some drinks later.
But I think like was our beginning of our friendship, of going out, drinking, having fun, and like
Yeah.
chit-chatting. It was always like this light, fun, joyful vibe in that sense. But I also noticed
Also, just spaces where we could talk.
yeah,
Like yap. Like
yeah,
just
yeah,
talk
yeah, yeah.
about anything. Just like sit down, have a glass of something, and talk and talk and talk.
But there's also like it was like the second date where I brought my sister, didn't I?
Yeah, that was weird, man. And it turned into a group date too. Like it was
Wait, she wanted to date you too?
no,
No.
like no, no, not at that time. No, just kidding. No, but what happened is that we went on like 2 dates or something, like coffee dates, and then you ditched me for a little while from that
Yes, I had a
guy.
date. I was dating a guy for a brief month in that sense. The
Yeah,
classic.
got too scared of dating a woman.
Go back to something that's comfortable. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think if that was what it was.
No,
but
it wasn't. But
yeah, you wanted to really explore that, and I was like, okay, that's fine, bye. Yeah, sad because I also really like enjoyed our. I thought you were so cool. Like I was like, yeah, this is sparking some things in me, like things in my nether regions that I had not felt before. So obviously like a lot of excitement and stuff, and then we didn't date for like a month or so, or like a couple of weeks, and then you invited me to go to like a bar hopping, and that's when your sister joined. And I remember like when we went to the like third bar or something, I remember I asked, or maybe it was like me and your sister having a conversation. Or maybe I don't remember how. At some point, at least, it's just you and me at the table because everybody's out smoking, and I'm just like, so is this a date?
Yeah.
And you were like, yes. Do you want it to be or something? It was like, yes. And then we kissed, I think, for the first time. Yeah.
So awkward.
So awkward, but also like so like innocent,
Yes.
know? That feeling of like, ooh, do you mean to touch me this way? Do you mean to sit closer to me? Yeah.
But this is what is so hard by dating other women, because it often is very unclear, when are we friends and what are we dating? And that line there is often ends up just being friends because nobody dares take that initiative.
Yeah.
Or us, and like, because that's I think is usually always when you're dating a man, there's always a back intention that they want something more, they want to have sex. It's a boyfriend girlfriend situation. I think maybe more today it's being more okay, friendship is a thing, but it's more inclined to be romantic, compared to when we're just dating girls. It is a little bit like, okay, who takes the first step?
Yeah.
Does she want to kiss me? Doesn't want to kiss me? Like, I remember I had to go. I went on another date. This is a little bit further in my dating career. I was gonna say,
made a career.
Yes, experience. She literally came up and like, and wanted to come on our date as just in a t-shirt for making dinner to signalize this is a date and this is not just friendship. But I had a roommate, so she didn't dare to do that, and she didn't tell me this before like 2 hours in. And she's like, I just like to be clear about something. Like, I would like to
this is a date.
This is a date, and I would like to fuck you afterwards. So I was like, okay.
It's pretty bold though,
yes,
to say that.
Yes.
Like, good on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really last that way, but this is where it becomes complicated in dating women. And this is also my past, is that checking out people at the only gay bar at that time, which was So. And that was also, if I was like, everybody's like haunting you, not haunting you. They're like, it's a prey and hunter vibe of going like, this is they're really baiting you.
Yeah.
And I also remember checking up a girl there, and managed to like flirt with her a little bit. I don't know if I guess we kissed. She brought me home to her. It was so awkward. Nobody knew how to take the first step. It was just so awkward. We laid in bed, and then we moved into the sofa instead and fell asleep on the sofa.
Did you make out, or like what was
I think we at least made out.
Yeah.
But I think none of us.
The clothes on?
No, with clothes on.
Oh.
So I don't. it was just like, teenage vibe where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Do I touch her pussy? No, I don't.
Yeah.
And like,
also,
okay,
what I just realized now is that the whole conversation of like consent wasn't present
No.
at the time, for me at least, or also the way we
No,
dated.
I don't think I don't know how we consented to have
sex with each other.
Do you remember the first time we had sex?
Well, let's define sex. Like, the sex doesn't need to be penetration, right? Or like, it can be so many different things. But I think the first time you and me, sort of, I don't know, like either give oral sex or like had.
Okay, let me. What I remember, the first time you gave me an orgasm, I remember that.
You too.
Because I feel like in the beginning our sex was also awkward because none of us
Yeah.
knew what to do. We tried. I don't think both of us were good at like saying what we liked or didn't know what we liked. It was totally awkward.
Yeah, awkward, but also like you wanted, like, we were both like equally invested in like getting to know each other and stuff, but at the same time like so hindered by all these like sexual scripts of like how to have sex with men. I feel like, at least for myself,
I didn't know how to be dominant. I was also just submissive, like, okay, just take me.
And then like moaning a bit and like giving you some sort of like, and then I think what my go-to in my head was when I was giving oral, I would just go do the things that I would maybe like to myself. But full disclaimer, I've never actually had an orgasm while given oral, by getting oral. So I still don't know what that feels like. So honestly, like, I guess just do what I thought felt nice.
But without the communication, we did not communicate in that way. We're just like, okay, night.
Yeah.
But
not evaluating the sex, or like no aftercare, no like pre-conversation, no do you want to be touched here, do you want to. And also I remember, I think it was New Year's Eve that we spent together, so we met in October and then like dated a bit and then spent New Year's Eve together. And I think that's you brought some toys. I didn't have that many toys at the time. I think maybe I had one dildo or something, one vibrator. Yeah. I don't remember what we did with the toys though, if we did actually use them or if we were just like being silly or yeah. But you wanted to share it when I gave you
my first orgasm with you, because again we had some sex, and then it was so subtle as well, because I think you just use your fingers, but you did something, a movement where it's like and you're like, oh, did you came? I'm like, yes. And that was it.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it was very cute, very innocent, and short. In that sense. But it was in your bed. That's what I also remember.
My bed that for sure had like Hello Kitty
everywhere,
and oh my god, the obsession that I had with that cat.
But how was your dating life with women?
Before you, I had like one proper date with a woman that I had met on Tinder, I guess, or honestly, I don't remember where I met her, but probably Tinder. So she was my first, which was super awkward because I at that time I hadn't told my parents that I wanted to date women yet, and or neither which one of my family, but all of my friends knew, like I mean, I started high school saying to my friends that I'm bisexual, like this is who I am, like and also previous boyfriends have known this. For some reason it didn't occur to my parents, and I obviously also, I mean, I didn't talk about it that much, and I had just had boyfriends, so it's okay, like I don't blame them for suddenly understanding that dimension of my sexuality or anything. But yeah, so it was a bit awkward because I had to then both tell my dad. I think I just came out to him ridiculously over like a Zoom, like not a Zoom call, but like a video call.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like calling me back and was like, "Wait a minute, what did you say? Like you said that you went on you going on a date with a woman," and he was totally cool about it. Thank God. Like he was.
But he had to call you back for it.
Yeah,
didn't
maybe
understand.
I texted him that so he was maybe asking me like, what are you doing this weekend or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm going on a date with a woman. Or not with a man or something. I don't write it like very cryptic. Yeah, and then I mean, do you want me to go into this? Like, is this interesting?
Yeah.
So then he called me after he had that message, and then we had a conversation just about that. I think he was going on a work trip, and he was like on the train, like, but he was very cool about it. He's just like, oh yeah, I said, something new. You're, kind of exploring. I just remember this conversation as kind of fun and like it's going well. The conversation that I had with my mom was a bit different. It was just like I was getting ready for the date, I remember. And she was like, where are you going? Because I lived at her place at the time. And I remember like kind of catching her in the kitchen. She's like, where are you going? Blah, blah. And I'm like, on a date? And she's like, oh yeah, with who? I'm like, with a woman. And I remember her face and everything in her body, like not tense, but it was like just like, oh, what is this? So she turns around and has like, she's a bit like, are you lesbian now or something? She says, and I'm like, no, mom, I'm not a lesbian. I mean, I don't know, but I was like, for sure, I'm not. I don't think I'm a lesbian. I've had
you like dick.
Yeah, I've had 2 boyfriends by that time anyway. So, so yeah, that's how I came out to them, and that's when I went on a date with this woman, which was a very like, honest to God, I think that if I was a guy, I would have totally gotten her to come home with me that night because it was so heteronormative on like how this date went.
Yeah.
Like we were sitting opposite sides at a restaurant, having a glass of wine, having like some Italian food, very like, and we were both quite femme, like both long hair, like makeup, and very like
submissive,
cute, submissive maybe, but also just very like
innocent.
Yeah, very innocent. Also, this was not her first date with a girl, but it was like her maybe second or something. I remember she made it out to feel like she had a lot of experience, but then when I wanted a second date with her, she went back to her ex-boyfriend. So I was like, excuse me, you do not clearly want all of this or want, which is fine. But then you were my second. Yes.
I think that's the pain point of dating often women and then them going back to a man.
Yeah.
That is a big pain for a lot of lesbians out there, no doubt.
For sure.
And that's something I also noticed with Juicebox is predominantly bi-curious, pan-curious women who not have been with a woman before. This is the playground for that has kind of what it sparked into. But I'm always like, where's my lesbians at? Like, come on. But it is coming from that they're growing up is always falling for the hetero girl who always dumps them for a man. And that is a big trauma that is very normal in a lot of stuff. I have also experienced that with my first girl crush when I was 16.
Yeah.
She was in love with a boy. I was like, being just her best friend, trying to be a good best friend and be like, girl, can you just ditch this boy? I also take so much better care of you. Can you just see what you have in front of you, but also not telling her either?
Yeah. Just trying to be like, signal with like,
signal here. Yeah. And the worst part, or like not the worst part, but what the confirmation part was, every time that she got batshit drunk, that's when she like, oh, but I love you, Sophia. Oh, I want you, Sophia. I have that high school moment at the prom night. Like this is like third year in, so I think our last year together. I get called up for best dressed, but I don't come up to get the prize because I am busy in the bathroom making out with my first love, because that's when she dares to just like, wow. I was like, oh my god, I was in heaven then. But also so heartbroken because she's like, this can never happen, like, or she couldn't. She of course went back into the closet again, and I was just distraught. And I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
So that,
Me.
yeah. And then she's married now with a man and has kids. With a person I actually know. So it's very interesting how things end up.
Yeah, how things end up.
But yeah, dating girls.
Yeah, it's strange. I think up until this day, like I said, I don't necessarily like dating that much, so you won't get that many stories out of me dating, but you will get some that are more sexual because I have done a lot.
Yeah, so like also when you're first crush or you're in love, or
yeah, for sure.
You know, the first time that you got an orgasm with a woman, then
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that was you.
It was.
No, that's not.
No,
true.
that's why I'm like.
No, that's not true.
That's why I always felt so.
No.
No,
I had. Oh my god! Like there was a lot of experimenting when I was a teenager. And my first kiss also, like, this is just innocent, like girlfriends like making out and stuff, like trying new things, you know, trying how it would be like to kiss a real boy. You pretend to be a boy.
Yes.
But actually you're kind of bisexual and you're just doing it because girls feel nice to kiss. So what happens is, this is my pre-story, I guess, but yeah, like a lot of kissing girls. And I think that my first, so I had a this is going way back when, but my first like gay sex experience is when I'm like maybe 13.
Oh damn.
Yeah, 12 or 13. It was like and it was like petting, so like touching each other. It was very much like we had a play date. I don't know. We had a play date, and then, if you can call it that, silly, or we were just hanging out like as friends after school. And then they had sort of like a house where the top floor was very open, but he had one bedroom that had like a shower, it was like guest room or whatever. And this isn't really important to the story, like I'm going off on a tangent here, but like, so what happens is that we get undressed under these covers and then start touching each other and sort of like rubbing each other's clits. That's my first experience, and it felt good. I'm not sure if I had like an orgasm though, but maybe.
But that was with a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you trusted.
Yeah. Then I did it again at 14, at 15, and yeah.
The same person, same girl.
No, sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, sometimes.
Did you feel shame at all around doing that? Did you tell your parents at all of that experience?
No.
No,
I mean, no, I did not tell them.
No.
I'm not sure if I felt shameful. It was more like, this is just part of being a teenager, exploring and stuff, but I didn't necessarily have the vocabulary to talk about it and what that made me feel. I just remember telling my first boyfriend when we got together, was like 14, 15, and we were together for like 3.5 years, and I told him that I sometimes like kissing my girlfriends. How do you feel about that? He's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't mind. Like, it's all right. Like, he was never jealous in that way. He was very jealous of other men.
Of course.
But never of the women.
That I've noticed so many times, and it frustrates the shit out of me because I feel like it doesn't validate that I'm gay.
No, it's so true. It's so true. Like, it's how bisexualism is erased basically by a partner.
Like I get it, like for a man in some ways they feel that they can't compete with that anyways, so they can never, you know, replace another woman with a woman, so that's where, okay, I can't compete with, okay, I can't change it, cool, don't fucking feel jealous, that logical. But then I also have experienced the opposite, where he felt like he couldn't satisfy me no matter what, and felt, you know, not good enough. And there's also a part where I also dated another friend in that sense, and I technically cheated on him with another woman. I told him the same night. I came home crying, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I made out with a girl. He's like, a girl? Oh, it's fine. I'm like, no, you need to be mad at me, because like, this is like not cheating on you, not just because I'm kissing, but because I will fall in love with her. You know, this is, if you're not taking this seriously, you don't understand how emotionally attached I actually can get to a woman, and that's why you need to be jealous.
That's the reason.
And if you're not, you don't like. That's what I felt. I remember I was like, the difference between a woman and a man.
It's also
The
very
emotional part, basically.
yeah. It's also a big difference from my first boyfriend to my second boyfriend, where my first boyfriend was never jealous. I think that he validated it in a sense of like, I see you as a bisexual, even though he didn't maybe not have the words for it back then either. But then my second boyfriend, he was super jealous of that fact. Like when I made out with a girl, he was like, "You cheated on me." Like, and yeah, I did cheat on him. But at the time, I didn't understand myself even because I just came from a relationship where that was okay.
Yeah.
So right now in that other relationship, I was like, why are you reacting so bad and like not,
understanding
me? And like I thought this was cool. Clearly, it was not cool. That's how you learn a lot about boundaries.
Yeah, you're actually moving more into being a polyamorous relationship with the other partner without actually defining it as so. And then moving into actually a monogamous relationship without actually knowing it was in a monogamous relationship.
Exactly. Isn't that fucked up to realize, like, in retrospect, though?
Yeah, but this is why we need communication.
Yes.
We need education. We need to be aware of all these stuff so we understand when we're going into these kind of fall pits, or what are we defining, or what do we want, what do we need, so we don't have to get hurt unnecessarily. There's always going to be hurt,
obviously, and there's some things you just can't educate on either. You need to experience these things for yourself. Like if you never are heartbroken or whatever, like you will get heartbroken at some point because you will.
That's part of life.
Yeah, it's part of life. It's a part of experiencing what life.
The human experience.
Yeah, the human experience. So, but yeah, that is part of like my prehistory with women up until like we start dating, and then we date for a while. And then that New Year's is when we actually spend like more days together. I just remember like we had like facial masks and did like cute things and like holding hands. There's one picture of us that I've had on my phone that is like it's just us with like facial masks on that I remember. I actually, to be honest, I don't remember so many parts of the sex. I remember some of the sex toys. I also remember that was one of the earlier dates, I think, when we were at your house or at your apartment. And you were wearing like type of shirt like this, but in like white, and it was like very flowy, open, and it was just supposed to be a dinner, but we got kind of drunk, had dinner obviously, and then I remember like lifting you up on top of me and like making out with you. And I thought that was really hot.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, see, that's what sometimes things stick that you.
It is fun to see what is sticks and what doesn't in that way.
This is 9 years ago now.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So, yeah. And then I also remember there was you went on a vacation with your sister to Berlin. In the time spent of us dating, and you had
that time.
Yeah, and you had sex with someone else on that vacation, and you told me like very like casually about it afterwards. And I remember at the time my brain was so programmed to be like, you should be jealous of this because you are currently dating this person.
And then we haven't communicated exclusivity or not by that time.
And then I was also like, I remember talking to my roommate about that, I think, and it was like, I wasn't necessarily super sad, but she always reminds me that you were crying over this, and I'm like, I don't remember. Really? I don't remember that personally, but yeah. But then, I don't think I ever told you that.
Maybe no. Well, you just gave me now a time reference when that Berlin trip was in my brain. So I was like, oh, and that time, interesting.
Yeah, that beginning of 2018.
Interesting.
And then it was just so fascinating, at least to now look back on and be like, yeah, so you just told me this super casually that you're on vacation, had sex with a man. Meanwhile,
I actually barely had sex with him because he couldn't get it up to be correct. Politically correct. But yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good. That's That's nice to hear. That's just kidding. No, so that was, and then we quite recent after that trip, we had like a conversation where we went at a restaurant, and then sort of we're like, yeah, so how do you feel about me, and how do I feel about you? Which even to this day I think is pretty fucking mature to do. Like I mean I don't remember how I was articulating myself or what you completely said, but it was more like, yeah, so I do feel like a very strong friends vibe, and
with you,
and I do want to like have you in my life and stuff, but maybe we don't have like a romantic, like we still had sexual chemistry, I feel like, but
in some sense, but I think that's also where part I think I remember for me that was the part, like I don't think we are actually a match. It's something's off here, but like I do want you in my life. I think I'm not sure if who initiated it, but I do remember having that thought, okay, I think we need to have this talk in that sense, just to clear the air, and then also finding out, oh, we were both the same side, but also figure out, oh, but we would have sex with another man, or finding out, oh, that the threesome might work for us better in that sense,
which is another component to that whole queer dating women. You just like, you put a dick in there and suddenly it works. Like, what? Excuse me, that's not the key that I expected to this relationship
for heteronormative passing people. Yes, I guess. No, I think I do think that was the missing piece that we were missing as two submissive women coming in, not knowing so much about sex, and finally getting somebody who's like, yes, okay, you do this, okay, you do that, pussy up, pussy down, yes.
Yeah.
Or had some vision. A director, basically.
Yeah, a director, yeah.
Because we had men like, yeah, you would like us two girls, yeah, going out drinking, and then take us.
Yes.
In the beginning of our time. It's not so much the same now, I would say. But
no. It's a long way down the road. But yeah, so that is then sort of like 3, 4, 5 months after we met the first time. I don't think we dated for maybe really actively for maybe 2 months or something, 3, I don't know.
So I guess it was a little bit you sparked that as well, because I was just so desperate to explore myself with other women, and I did not know where to go. I was so hungry. I was so hungry because I went out to nightclubs, couldn't find anybody, did not know how to check out women. Oh my god, that's so hard. I was so nervous, did not have the guts to do that. And then going on Tinder, trying to find a woman on Tinder. Women do not fucking answer on Tinder. Oh my, that is a difference. Men answer immediately. Women, quiet. You might get a reply. And I was very like, I don't do chit chat. Let's do a coffee date instead. I was very direct. And there's a lot of women who I matched with, but I would say maybe 5% actually answered me. And I was like, what the fuck?
Why are you on this app if you're not planning to answer? Why did you swipe right if you didn't plan to answer?
Or are all these people just bi-curious and don't dare to take that step of meeting a woman?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But I was desperate. And as my hyper independency would, I talked to a friend of mine, the other friend of mine who I also met through Tinder and is a friend today, because she's lesbian and she has more, her gay friends, and she's like, let's get like a Penix fest today. We're just women. That was her intention, to gather her friends and okay, Sophia, I'm gonna show you my lesbian community. However, before we got to do that, she got a girlfriend, and then she got busy with that. And then I was like, okay, cool. I am just gonna make an event. I'm gonna make a Facebook group, invite the people I know are somewhat queer, and then make an event where we can come together and explore together. Because this is what I had a desire for. And my goal was back then having 50 members. And today we are 6,000. We kind of been 6,000 for the past 5 years, I think, at least. But it's still a big jump.
It's a huge jump compared to like what it started out as.
Yes, it's like something small. I don't know. We tried out. I have this need. I don't know how to do this, but let's just try it out and then see where it takes us.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. Because I've been to a all woman sex party through Skirt Club in LA the year before. That was the first spark of how to arrange kind of like this sex party in that sense.
I remember you talked about that also in a way that it was very like focused on sexy women and like sexy lingerie and like
the feminine woman.
Yeah.
It's very the feminine woman. It's not like any queer or non-binary or masculine. It was very
any variety of bodies or like representations or anything.
Yes.
That's so clearly a sort of like beautified way of going about who can come to this and who can't, or like sort of like inclusion exclusion type of.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of reflects the start of my queerness. I also only liked feminine woman.
Yeah,
that was my also first spark, was the beauty and the feminine in that way, and was only kind of interested in feminine woman until I got my first girlfriend, who was mask presenting, and totally changed my mind. But I think that party, Skirt Club, is kind of like still has that value of, you know, femme in that way. Which is, I guess, a preference in that way.
Yeah.
But I do agree it does discriminate and exclude. It doesn't really build bridges between people, because it is mangfold, the diversity that is so beautiful with Juicebox, I would say.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that. But the feeling that I have, my epiphany from going to Skirt Club, was just being just around this beautiful woman. It was just love and pleasure everywhere. And then we were playing spin the bottle and just kissing each other. I was like, oh my God, what is this heaven? Oh my God, we need more of this. We need more of this in this world. This is the solution to war.
Yeah.
It's more pleasure. But starting my own Juicebox party, nobody had sex. I had so many games. I had from A to Z, know what we were going to do at every given time, of like mingle games, getting to know each other, you know, more funny games to teach about like sex terms and all this, and then ending it with 7 minutes in heaven, actually.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Not that party, but another party.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like, it has like, oh my God, this organism.
So many parties.
Yeah.
Oh, we have many parties.
Honestly, like maybe this is coming to a natural end here, so that we can keep some things for the next episode.
Because then we're gonna go deep in Juicebox.
Right?
What is Juicebox? How is it transformed? Because in the beginning, yes, it was me wanting to have sex with other women. To understand how complicated it actually is to create a space.
Not complicated, complex.
Thank you. How complex it actually is, or how many layers it is actually to create a space that people feel safe enough to explore themselves, because of all the shame and stigma we have around our bodies and norms and rules. And what actually makes a safer space. We can never be a safe space. That doesn't possible. But what creates that environment and vibe that makes the juices flowing, understand our sexuality, which means understand our nervous system, understand our trauma. It comes into so many layers, and understanding it's not really about sex at all. It's about intimacy, about connection,
about daring to be yourself, and
expressing yourself, finding out who are you, who, and being in a space where people open it and welcome it and don't judge you for it. That became also like
being
vulnerable about it, and becomes so many more layers to it than just, oh, it's a sex party. I'm like, yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, no. Used to be, that was the label, that was what people thought it was.
It was like level 1 of awareness, I feel like, of being human.
Yeah. But it also needed some sort of name. It needed a name of like, it needed to live in a little box before it could grow to these other boxes, in a sense. Like, it was
the natural growth of it.
Yes.
It couldn't be the other way around.
If it was the other way around, I think we did something wrong.
Yeah, but that's actually an interesting thought, because there is a lot of today now. I don't think at that time. Today now, I see a lot of women's retreat. There's a lot of women gatherings and all this. that is non-sexual, which are doing a lot of good things of just bringing us women together, because that is technically what we need to be in a non-competitive space where we don't judge each other, because this is what our
There's a
society is.
lot of healing in that. Oh my
Yes,
God, yeah.
I think that's what I often felt most about Juicebox. It's not about sex; it's just being with other women in a supportive space. It just feels so much safer because the male gaze is not there, and that's also what I said, is that 90% of us women have experienced sexual harassment once in our lifetime, and therefore taking cis men out of the equation, we feel safe in a totally new way that we never experienced before.
Also, the fact that you can empower other women and celebrate them the way that you have never, heard other people in society celebrate women for their bodies, their achievements, their way of being, their laugh, their expression, that and everybody gets a spotlight in some sense that is very special, and everybody gets to dare to take space, is allowed to.
Yeah. And back to my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Was that these other women streams that are non-sexual, they do a lot of good work, and it's more like a baby step of bringing together. I'm not saying that we need more of those, no doubt, but it is missing a very big part. What I have been seeing is that if we women want to be equal or have equality or be liberated and empowered, sexuality is the biggest part that has been neglected for centuries, and so much shame around it. And if we don't think about it or don't centralize in that sense, we can never be free. We will never connect. We'll never be able to really express ourselves if we don't actually go into the core of the wound of being woman. And that is our sensuality and sexuality. That is where also our power lies.
Also, just daring to take the step to go there is not something is offered in society. You need to do it yourself. You need to be empowered to do it with others, and so on. So it's like,
how do you do that? Where do you go? There's no inspiration.
How do you connect with your femininity in a patriarchal society that has for years suppressed it, and also like undermined it, and still today thinks that it's frivolous or whatever. So it's super brave to dare to step more into your femininity in a society that really values masculinity or traits of masculinity. Yeah. So there's a lot more to come. Let's just say that. But if there's things that in this conversation about just dating women, how to date women, and actually we didn't even go into that so deeply. Maybe
kind of, I would say some, but there's always more to a comment. We would love to hear your point of views, your memories, something that resonated with you or you don't agree with at all. Please comment that below. We would love to hear your story and your side and your point of view in this.
Sparked any memories for you, like it did for me when we had that conversation.
And if say you like what we're talking about and think that we need to be in a world that it works against shame around our bodies, our sexuality, and
intimacy as a big part of how to connect to people, and not daring to look away from it, or like be ashamed of it, or
being free, basically.
Being free.
Then support us by commenting, by liking, by sharing this to your friend. That is today's support. Is doing those 3 simple things.
And if you feel very generous, you may also donate to our page.
We are doing this for free, no doubt, and it takes a lot of time and effort. But we also just like to thank you for listening, for being here with us today. Yes.
As always, anything we say is an invitation. I just went into what I would say in a circle, like whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and take what you need from this conversation. You have as much ownership to this as we do.
Yes, spread it. Yes, please. Like, we don't have any privacy. Or like, not privacy. It was you may gossip about what we said.
This is
Positive
public knowledge
gossip.
now. Yeah, this is public knowledge. We try our best, I think, to contain the stories to our personal experiences instead of like other people, because we're not here to gossip about other people's experiences, but
just ours.
yes, to share our experiences. And so yeah, but if any of this resonates or
I understand what you're saying.
It gets the juices in your head flowing, or other places, then maybe you should tune into our next episode as well.
Yes, we're gonna go more into what is Juicebox, how did Juicebox become, or how was it organized, how did it start. We kind of went into it now, but we're going more into it in more detailed. What is Juicebox? What can you expect at a party? How the parties evolved throughout the time.
Maybe also get some like specific memories.
A lot of memories.
Like, you know?
We can go to definitely. I would love to go memory lane.
Yeah.
We should bring Amy into this episode then.
Yeah.
I think so, because she's also been here from the stunts. Yes. That would be really fun to go down memory lane.
Yeah. And also
all the juicy stories.
all the juicy fluids. Oh my lord. But yeah, this was Gimme the Juice for this time.
Yes. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Kisses. Good job. Mwah. High five. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. My knees. Ah. Oh. Ow.
You old or something?
I'm getting old. I'm 9 years older. Yes. Oh.
Oh.
Yes, good.
I
feel like it was more of a... well, we'll see.
More of a flow.
But more, at least, in the same topic, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. It was some rambling for sure. But...
yeah, but that's going to happen anyways.
No,